Okay, so just last time we have learned in Organon of Medicine, okay, about the route of administration. Actually, what Dr. Henneman has told about the route of administration with the aphorism number 284 and 285 references, okay. And actually, previously, if you see, he was not in the support of application on the skin, okay. But what happened later on, okay, when if you will study later on, like in second year, third year, fourth year, you will study in detail about the Organon of Medicine with homeopathic philosophy, okay. So then there you will know in fifth edition of Organon, he was not so much like in support of skin application or external application, okay. He doesn't believe on this, okay. He has just idea ki if anything you are taking by mouth, then and then only you will be cured, okay, otherwise you will not be cured, okay. But later on in sixth edition, just he has changed his mind. His mind makeup was like that key, if you take anything by mouth, okay, and after that for same complaint, if you are taking anything on skin also, or like by external application, oral route, okay, like just suppose any person, any patient has some problems with their oral cavity, okay, so they will give one medicine, and second medicine will be like anything to for gargle, okay, like mouthwash or gargle, okay. So that will affect the person more, okay, means it will give a positive effect on that particular patient, okay. Like same thing, okay, if any person has a knee joint problem, okay, if you are giving a homeopathic medicine and with that you are giving some homeopathic ointment, okay, to apply on the joints and for massage, okay, so that will help that particular patient more, okay. That was experienced by Dr. Henneman when he was writing from fifth edition to sixth edition, okay. So that's why in sixth edition he was in support of external application, okay. We will study about this in separate chapter, okay. We have one more chapter, external application, so there we will study about this, okay. We will know about him. In fifth edition he was not so much in support, but later on in sixth edition, when he was writing sixth edition of Organon, he was in support, okay. Then next is okay, then he told about the oral routes, then he told about the olfactory routes, okay. Then indications, the method of application is in following conditions in idiosyncratic patient, okay. Already we have talked, okay, idiosyncratic patient means special patient. You can tell ki the particular patient is special, okay, means he is not like others, okay. So that is called as a idiosyncratic patient, okay. So if some patients are idiosyncratic, suppose some any disease is there, okay. If you remember, you know epilepsy, okay. Epilepsy, there is locked jaw is there, okay. Means the particular person cannot open their jaw, okay. And like if persons are dead also, okay, it is not possible to open their jaw, okay. So sometimes because of nervous issues, okay, nerve conductions, okay, you cannot open the jaw, or sometimes some emergency condition is there, you have to give medicine by mouth, okay. So at that time it is a problem, okay. So when it is not possible to give medicine through mouth during fit or epilepsy, okay. Fit means just there is become person become unconscious, okay, and there is some local or generalized there is trembling of feet and hands, okay, and whole body, okay. Epilepsy, you understand, na? Epilepsy. In Hindi, it is called as a mirgi. Okay, means person is not able to control his hands, legs, and body. Okay, and just without his means control, he or she is trembling. Okay, trembling and even like not able to stand also. Okay, you will study about all these things in second year also, in third year and fourth year, okay, in pathology also, and in surgery, and then practice of medicine, compulsory you will study, okay, in practice of medicine, okay. The epileptic patients are those who are not able to control their the nervous nerves, okay. Anytime there is epileptic attack, okay, person have, okay. In allopathy, like they just tell take medicine for 3 years. If in 3 years you are not getting any attack, then and then only you can just stop the medicine, okay. Then sometimes if you remember or you have any personal experience around you. Okay, like sometimes some person got epileptic attack and they are asked to smell the shoes or like socks. Okay, means if any unpleasant smell you will give to particular person, what happens, they just their consciousness change and the these all the things changes and the person become normal. Okay, so that is the philosophy behind this. Okay, just giving something unpleasant thing for a smell. Okay, then next is the hysteria. Okay, hysteria is just related with the psychological hormonal attack on females. Okay, means because of psychological problems or hormonal problems. Okay, because hysteria is particularly related to hysteria. Okay, hysterectomy, if you remember word hysterectomy, hysteria means uterus. Okay, so hormones which are related with uterus, their abnormality may cause what mental problem, that is called as a hysteria. Okay, so that is come from the olden words. Okay, Greek and Latin words. Okay, in lockjaw or tetanus. Okay, tetanus, if you remember nowadays, so you cannot see this type of patient of tetanus. Okay, but lockjaw or tetanus is also there. Okay, then next is by application to the skin. Okay, I just talked about this when I started classes. Okay, key application on skin, that is called as a external application. Okay, rubbing on friction. Okay, inhalation in the epidermis. Okay, most of the beauty creams. Okay, that is just applied on the skin. Okay, that may be ointment, that may be any type of lotion. Okay, that may be liniment, like many type of beauty creams are there. Okay, so this just a function on the this basis. If you apply on skin, okay, that will just help you to get the color of your skin or many other things, scars of your skin. Okay, the friction through the whole cutaneous surface of the body, whether the epidermis is sound or epigastrium, inner parts of thighs, lower parts of the abdomen, back, arms, legs, testes, labia major, etc. Okay. Then aphorism number 292, footnote, what Dr. Henneman has written. Okay. Rubbing is appears to favor the action of the medicine only in this way. Friction may be skin more sensitive and the living fibers thereby more capability of feeling, and it where the medicinal power and of the communication to the whole organism. This health affects the sensations. Okay, means in aphorism number 292. Okay, in footnote number 1. Okay, he has told about the this. Okay, if you are taking the homeopathic medicines or okay by external application, okay, this will help you in this given way. Okay, means 292. Okay, now in aphorism in Organon of Medicine 6th edition, we have only 291 aphorism. We don't have 292 aphorism. Okay, so from where you will get 292 aphorism? Okay, it is in 5th edition of Organon. Actually, in 5th edition of Organon, there is 294 aphorisms are there. Okay, so remember this. Okay, if they are talking about 292, 293, 294, then this is the 5th edition of Organon. Okay. 6th edition of Organon has only 291 aphorism. Okay, remember this. Next, okay, so we will see rubbing in appears to favor the action of the medicines only in the way friction makes the skin more sensitive and the living fibers therefore more capable of feeling, as it were the medicinal power and the communicating to the whole organism. This health affects the sensations. Okay, there are many ways of just putting external application. We use normally ghee, we use glycerins, we use gulab gel, many other things are there. Okay, just in day-to-day life we are using many things as external application. Okay, examples: application of the lotion, ointment, liniment over the unbroken skin. Okay, sometimes dry skin is there. Okay, then in epidemic, in these methods drugs are simply kept in contact with the unbroken skin without friction or rubbing. Okay, like many beauty creams we are just applying on the skin. Okay, then many type of other creams which is related with the skin disease that also we apply on the skin. Okay, then plasters, policies, ointments, etc. are thus applied. Others, eyes as eye drops, okay, Syncona, Cinerea maritima is there, okay, then ear drops are there, mullein oil is there, okay, then nose, nasal drops are there, sanguinaria is there. These are the external applications, okay, principles of drug administration, okay. This is the different part, principles of drug. Here just mainly we have learned about the oral way of administration of drug. Okay, then olfactory or nasal way of drug administration, or that may be nasal or mouth. Okay, olfactory, and third is the external application. Okay, mainly these three are used in homeopathy. Remember this. Okay. Next is the routes. Okay, oral and olfaction method is satisfactory for the drug administration. Forms, liquid forms, medicine may be. Liquid form medicine may be administered after being dissolved in a greater quantity of liquid vehicles. Thus, it comes in contact with the larger surface of the sensitive nerves. Okay, aphorism number 286. It is given. Okay, aphorism number 286. Okay, now it is not useful, but when question, this same question you will get in homeopathic pharmacy also. Okay, write in detail about pharmaconomy or write in detail about the drug administration. Okay, so here the no need of apply, just putting the reference of aphorism. But when in third year or fourth year you will write same question. Okay, write in detail about the drug administration or pharmaconomy process in homeopathy. Now at that time you have to use the references of references of these aphorisms, because now you are writing in third year and fourth year the same answer in reference with organon of medicine, not in homeopathic pharmacy. Okay, remember this. At that time you have to give the references of aphorisms. Okay, so these chapters are also where the references are very much or very high number of references are there. Be careful, this may be useful in your organon of medicine also. Okay, I told you organon of medicine with homeopathic philosophy is mother of homeopathy. Okay, all the things are related with that. Okay. Okay, then medicines may be administered after being dissolved in greater quantity of liquid vehicle. Thus, it comes in contact with much larger surface of sensitive nerves. Okay. Then solid form medicines may also be administered in the forms of medicated globules, sugar of milk, and tablets. Okay, doses. Dose is a separate chapter, but just here we will see. Okay, posology. Already, I think we have discussed about the posology. Okay, doses. In no cases it requires to administer more than one single simple medicine substances at a time. Aphorism number 272. It is wrong to attempt to employ complex means when simple means suffer. Aphorism number 274. The smallest dose of the homeopathic remedy, so much the slinger and shortening in this apparent increase of the diseases. It is better to give a small poppy seed like globules soaked with the medicinal substances and then to serve either by the dissolving in a small quantity of the purified water or sugar of milk. Okay, this is just poppy seed means just it is related with alum potency. Okay, this is very small. Okay, poppy seed, I think I have shown you in this our lab. Okay, then repetition of doses. Okay, perceptible perceptible and continued process of improvement of contraindicates repetition. Aphorism number 245. Repeats doses only when the improvement ceases. Okay, then repetition may be continued till either recovery ensures the different groups of symptoms arises and thus demands different remedy. Aphorism number 248. All these things are related with posology. Okay, not with drug administration. When to repeat the dose, when lower the dose. Okay, all these things are related with posology. Okay, so when you are writing the posology, you can include these parts. Okay, about the doses. Okay, Next part we will see. In chronic diseases, medicine may be repeated at interval of a 14, 12, 10, 8 or 7 days. Okay, means every day you don't need to give if any chronic disease is there. Okay, you have to give your medicine in every 15 days, 7 days. In chronic diseases, resembles cases of acute disease should be repeated at a still shorter intervals. In acute disease, at very much shorter period, every 24 12 8 4 hours. Okay, means if acute you have to just repeat the doses. Okay, in a test every hour. Okay, means very simple, just today or like today morning patient has got fever, then it is just acute disease. Okay, just it happened. Okay, so at that time you can just give the medicine every hourly in low potency to subside the disease. Okay, next is the proper timing of the administration of the medicines. What is the proper timing of administration of the medicine? In intermittent fever, okay, this is totally different from drug administration. Okay, just they have included, or writer has included this part, which is the administration of medicine. Okay, particular timing, those system of posology system. Okay, so just don't confuse with this. Okay, proper timing of administration of the medicines in intermittent fever, most appropriate timing is immediate after the end of the paroxysms. Means end of the paroxysms means there is a intermittent, means fever is just high low high low. So when at the peak of fever, okay, fever is at the peak. Okay, at that time just you have to give the medicine. Aphorism number 236, Dr. Henneman has told. Okay, that's why it is told, if you are very good in organon, you may be a very good clinician. Okay, so in aphorism number 236 he has just given. Okay, because in organon he has written his clinical experiences only. Okay, that's why. In menstrual disturbance, the best timing is the post-menstrual period. Okay, means when menses has stopped, and after that you can give the medicine. Same thing is given in aphorism number 236. Okay. Next part is note. Medicine should not be given during the aggravation time, day or night. Okay, when disease is aggravating, increasing. Okay, or like when because of medicine disease is increasing. Okay, at that time you don't need to give the medicine. Okay, otherwise just it will confuse the patient also and the treating physician also. Okay, diet and regimen. Okay, always we talk about the auxiliary line of treatments with the homeopathic, allopathic, ayurvedic treatment. Okay, means we ask patient to do walking, yoga. We ask a patient to have a good type of diet. Okay, so this is also a different thing. Okay, but diet and regimen has a different part in our organon of medicine. Okay, so diet and regimen, sometimes this is also asked in short note. Okay, in your question paper, what is about the diet and regimen? Okay, so like when you diet and regimen is also a favorite question in your organon of medicine, but there they ask in reference with the organon of medicine. Okay, you have to know the organon reference. Okay, which organon of medicine, which chapter they have discussed about this. Okay, the aphorism number 258 and 259 they have discussed about the this. Okay, everything which can have an medicinal action should be removed from the diet and regimen of the patient during the administration of the medicine, so that the small dose may not be overwhelmed and extinguished or disturbed by any foreign medicinal irritants. Okay, it is given in aphorism number 259. Okay, then nothing should be taken at least 1.5 hours before or after taking the medicine. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, what happened, many homeopath, okay, many homeopath they tell, if you are taking homeopathic medicine you don't need to take garlic and onion. Okay, because they have pungent smell. You don't need to take alcohol. Okay, now if you ask your patient not to take alcohol, not to take onion, garlic, patient will take, okay, it's good, I will not take your medicine. Okay, this is the problem. Okay, so now with consultation with many good homeopaths, okay, with the time to time with the CCRH, okay, they have decided what we have to keep. Okay, because when you go through the old literatures, you will find, okay, many physicians are very strict about the diet and regimen. They tell any pungent smelling things, that is alcohol or that is the that is onion, that is the garlic, you don't need to take. Okay, when you are just on the medication process of homeopathy allopathic medicine. Okay, but with time, okay, everything changed. Okay, because it is a problem if you will tell your patient not to take these things, okay, or like very much strict with the diet and regimen, okay, the patient will not follow. Instead they have very much severe problem, okay, means they want to get rid of that particular severe problem, because sometimes they have a small skin disease, they just go through it, okay, they tell, okay, I will survive with it, but I will not leave alcohol or onion and garlic, okay, so like that, okay, so that's why. So after a long time, what happened? The CCRH in consultation with good homeopaths and researchers, they have decided, okay, ki nothing should be taken before half an hour before and after half an hour. Okay. Normally in allopathy, what we tell to our patients, okay, in allopathy, what we tell, ki take any high dose of antibiotics after your lunch or dinner. Okay. Because in empty stomach, if you will take, you will feel dizziness, weakness, but this is not with homeopathic medicine. Okay, just don't take anything except water. Except water means except this any type of vehicle. Okay, half an hour before, suppose any patient is you have asked your patient to take medicine at 8:30 a.m. Okay, so before 8 a.m. okay, and 8 a.m. and after 9 a.m. he or she can take anything, okay, but half an hour before and half an hour after, okay, taking medicine, they should not take anything, okay. So remember this, because these things you need to explain your patient many times, okay. Many times when you just prescribe your medicine to your patient, they start asking, okay, sir, what precaution we have to take in our diet and regimen? Can we take homeopathic medicine with Ayurvedic medicine? Can we take allopathic? I am already diabetic and I am taking allopathic drugs like diabetic medicine and BP medicine. Can we take your homeopathic medicines also? Okay, so you can just give this type of explanation. You just keep a half an hour or 1 hour difference between the two system of medicine, and you can take. Okay, otherwise you can directly not take. Tell ki like some BP medicines, okay, and diabetic medicine. Suddenly you will just tell your patient to stop. Okay, and if you will not coordinate properly with your homeopathic medicine, the particular patient may fall in emergency and they can be die also. Okay, so that's why you don't ask your patient to withdraw any other system of medicine suddenly. Okay, just you can tell your patient to keep 1 hour or half an hour difference between the your system of medicine and their system of medicine. Okay, next is no new habits and addictions should be indulged in during the taking of medicines. Okay, they should not like put on new habits, like they should not take any spicy thing, they should not smoke, they should not take any narcotic drugs, they should not take alcohol. Okay, and just they should not start anything new. Okay, all emotional stress and strains or excitement should be avoided. Okay, if you just go through the if you know about the later on, you will know about the this disease, okay, like thyroidism, okay, hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. Okay, most of the time this disease occurs because of emotional stress. Okay, if you will about this you will study in fourth year. Okay, any type of emotional stress, okay, that may be money loss, that may be loss of somebody, someone in somebody loved one in life, like mother, father, sisters, brother, anybody. Okay, so sometimes it happens, thyroid problem is always there, okay, because of imbalance in the your endocrine system. Okay, endocrine system, you already know about in physiology about the endocrine system. Okay, that's why this you have to balance the emotional stress of your patient also. Okay, you have to tell not to take too much emotional stress in their life. Okay, all the emotional stress and stress excitability should be avoided. Okay, so this is the complete. Okay, actually very half part is related with the drug administration. Okay, rest of the part is related with the diet and regimen and the process of this posology. Okay, means how to give the medicine. Okay, so if you have any doubt in this chapter, you can tell me. If you have any problem, anything you want to ask, any type of confusion you have in this chapter, anything. go through this chapter. Okay, this is a scoring chapter, and I can tell 100% this chapter you will get from diet and regimen or from the drug administration. You may get one short note. Okay, sometimes they give 4 marks short note also. Okay, and this chapter is also essential and important for organ of medicine when you go to the second year, third year, and fourth year. Okay, so this chapter will not leave you till your BHMS course. Okay, so any doubt you have, anything you want to ask?
Sir,
Hmm.
so why to avoid pungent smelling things?
Actually, when you study homeopathic, these literatures, okay, Dr. Hahnemann has thinking, okay, many of the Ayush system of medicine, okay, many parts of Ayush system of medicines, it is not only homeopathy, okay, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Sowa, Rigpa, Chinese medicine, not so much researched as per allopathic medicine, okay. But what happened, our like our stalwarts or like that father of homeopathy, okay, Dr. Hahnemann, he has thinking, if you are keeping any pungent smelling or highly smelling things with other homeopathic medicines, or you are taking with that your homeopathic medicine with that, okay, then it will just destroy the actual effect of that your medicine. Okay, that's why when you will study materia medica, you will find, don't keep any other medicine with camphor, okay, kapoor, camphor. Don't keep any homeopathic medicine with other very highly smelling medicines. Okay, so this is the reason. Okay, because it is actually not searched. Okay, no any research was done. Okay, but we are keeping our homeopathic medicines, like making our homeopathic medicines with alcohol. Okay, that is also a very high pungent smelling thing. Okay, like dilute alcohol, dispensing alcohol. But here nobody has told you don't do this with this. Okay, but it is given in our literature. Okay, and I think this is the thinking of our Dr. Hahnemann regarding this. If you are just keeping any normal smelling or normal type of medicine with very highly smelling materials like camphor or like garlic or any other things, or like any other things, it may just destroy the particular medicinal effect of that particular drug. Okay, but if you actually tell as per scientific background, or as per biochemistry research, okay, like what we do in our lab in biochemistry, okay, so I don't feel it is like so much authentic, okay, as per my opinion. Okay, but it is told by our stalwarts. Okay, and there may be, okay, if you are you have hundreds of pungent smelling things, it may affect 50 may affect your medicine. Okay, but actually things were researched properly. This type of literature I have not found. Okay, so that's why, that is the reason behind this key. They think the medicinal quality of your medicine may change, or it may be hampered, or it may be lowered. Okay, okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, anything else? Okay, so now we will stop here. Okay, we will start with our attendance.